Trump loyalist and one-time side chick to Donald Trump, Laura Loomer, said the appointment was, quote, not America First policy, and threw shade at Elon Musk and the rest of the tech bros by claiming they bought their way into Trump's ear to enrich themselves and get DoD contracts. Well, duh, Laura Loomer.
Former presidential candidate Vivek Ramaswamy, now part of the Doge effort with Elon Musk, he published a lengthy post in recent days about American workers. In this post, Ramaswamy explained why he feels tech companies choose to hire foreign workers over Americans. He boiled it all down to, quote, culture.
It's incredible. Fact. I know multiple sets of immigrant parents in the 90s who actively limited how much their kids could watch those TV shows precisely because they promoted mediocrity, and their kids went on to become wildly successful STEM graduates. More movies like Whiplash, fewer reruns of Friends, more math tutoring, fewer sleepovers, more weekend science competitions, fewer Saturday morning cartoons, more books, less TV, more creating, less chillin', more extracurriculars, less hanging out at the mall.
This is the most elitist shit I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
This is so elitist. This is like accept the dog-eat-dog cutthroat world of global capitalism and try to fit into the machine as best you can. In other words, like, you serve the economy. The economy doesn't serve you.
And even darker than that is, like, not just for yourself, but you better, from the time your kids come out of the womb, every minute of their time had better be spent on math tutoring. Friends, sleepovers, no.
Well, needless to say, MAGA was not very happy with being called lazy and mediocre and not focused enough on their education. Add to that the anti-immigrant hardliners in the party, and MAGA, he sort of got Elon Musk panties in a bunch. The reason I'm in America, along with so many critical people who built SpaceX, Tesla, and hundreds of other companies that made America strong, is because of H-1B. Take a big step back and fuck yourself in the face. I will go to war on this issue, the likes of which you cannot possibly comprehend.
Or mine with an Indian being being nominated as head of AI, and then you had Vivek and Elon saying, "Well, y'all aren't educated enough to be head of AI. That we don't have enough Americans to be head of AI. Y'all are just dumb. It just is what it is. You have a culture of mediocrity." Now,
but I guess Elon didn't think that was getting his point across well enough. So he reposted a tweet from someone named Autism Capital, who gave a play-by-play of the entire saga. So basically, the right split into two factions, tech right and right. And the tech right is like, hey, we need H-1B visa people to do the jobs. And the right was like, no, you need to hire Americans. And the tech right was like, but you guys are retarded. And the right is like, well, you don't train us. And the tech right is like, you can't out-train being retarded. And while all this was going on, we learned some people really don't like Indians. Elon Musk retweeted that and said that pretty much sums it up. This was eye-opening.
they're contemptible. Now they're racist. This is the hypocrisy that we're dealing with. Now he wants to, as far as censor people. Wait, hold on. When they were saying the N-word and calling us monkeys and talking about Jews and everything, that was okay. That was free speech. But now they're trying to attack your pockets and talk about, well, these H-1B1 visas, they got to get out of here. I don't care if it's an H-1B and H-1B1 visas. I don't care what it is. They got to go. Now all of a sudden they're racist. They're contemptible fools. That's what they are. They have got to be expelled from the Republican Party.
You are a fucking idiot.
Bro, you can't make this up, bro. You can't make this up.
Now, of course, Vivek and Elon are in favor of this because they're mega wealthy tech bro assholes, right? Them taking this position made MAGA go, well, hold on here. What did you think we meant when we said we are anti-immigration and we want net zero immigration? What did you think that meant? You think we're going to, carve loopholes so that you can make more profit, you oligarch, billionaire, robber baron prick? And so they started going at it.
We are opposed to the mass importations of H-1 visas to the United States. Here are the facts. The H-1B visa program is heavily abused by these major multi-trillion-dollar companies and software firms, generally to bring in workers at lower wages than they would have to pay Americans. Another reason companies use them is that H-1B visas, like I say, is indentured servitude. They can't leave that job.
The H-1B visa program is a total and complete scam concocted by the lords of easy money on Wall Street and the oligarchs in Silicon Valley.
What have black people been trying to tell you? What have I been trying to tell you? I'm like, listen, these people don't like you. They don't care about you. They see you as nothing more than a tool for them to gain more money and more power. That's all it is. And what do they say in response? Oh, Lucas, you don't know what you're talking about. What happened to you, man? You a libtard. What happened? And I'm trying to tell y'all, you're getting played because you cannot, as far as fawn over capitalism, and then at the same breath, screaming and crying about nationalism. I'm sorry, it's very hard for those two to coexist. The whole purpose of capitalism is to turn a profit. That does not have anything to do with it being an American citizen. You want, as far as capitalists, ruthless capitalists, to take less of a profit so that what? They can hire an American? What? Did you think this through? Duh. Did you think this through? No one's going to do that, bruh. No one. No one on God's green earth with an IQ above room temperature is going to do that. Not even your God King Emperor Trump. That is not going to happen.
Here's what Trump used to say about the H-1B visa program. Here's what he said in 2016.
Well, first of all, I think, and I know the H-1B very well, and it's something that I frankly use, and I shouldn't be allowed to use. We shouldn't have it. Very, very bad for workers.
He says it's very bad for workers.
H-1B should be used for top, highly paid talent to create American jobs, not as inexpensive labor program to destroy American jobs.
And what I will do is you graduate from a college, I think you should get automatically as part of your diploma a green card to be able to stay in this country. And that includes junior colleges too.
But Trump has run on this, I'm looking out for the non-college educated, like non-elite class. That's how he positions himself. And they truly have achieved this very dramatic realignment where now non-college educated voters are, regardless of race, overall, if you look at the overall numbers, more likely to vote Republican. He won for the first time voters who are making less than $50,000 a year. And so in the face of that education realignment, to have Vivek come in and basically be like, if your kids aren't on an Ivy League track from the time they're 2 years old, like you failed as a parent and we're failing as a nation, is really, that really is directly at odds with the way Trumpism has been sold since 2015.
But here's
Republicans don't appear to think too highly of higher education, and that's an issue that's dividing the country. According to a survey from the Pew Research Center, almost 60% of Republicans and Republican-leaning independents say that higher education has a negative effect on the country. For Democrats and Democrat-leaning independents, that percentage is less than 20%. Pew says this data shows a dramatic shift in viewpoints. Just 2 years ago, a majority of Republicans and Republican leaners saw higher education in a positive light. By 2016, the viewpoints were more split, and now the majority is negative. So
we won with poorly educated. I love the poorly educated.
Statistics from the 2016 presidential election show that the split on education is also having an effect on politics. A report from 538 found that Hillary Clinton did best in highly educated counties, while Donald Trump soared in the least educated ones. It concluded that education levels were the critical factor in predicting who would vote for Trump.
We need every voter. I don't care about you. I just want your vote. I don't care.
And what we need to have a conversation about is what is it going to mean for the future of our country, our national security, and the incoming Trump administration if we have a bunch of technocrats who are also essentially welfare queens because their companies are receiving government subsidies and they want to take over our defense industry. If you have a bunch of tech bros with billions of dollars and direct unfettered access to the vice president and the president of the United States, and then they are also, very cordial with our adversaries, as in China and Iran. We see that Elon Musk is having these meetings off the books with Iranian officials, with Chinese officials. What does that mean for us and the future of our constitutional republic?
Okay, hang on.
JVL.
The worst person in the world just made a good point. Right.
JVL is going full Loomer Bannon, I think, right now.
I could have written that.
Just go it.
So look, here's the thing. She's right. She's right top to bottom on it. And this is a big country. There's 330 million people in this country. And the H-1B numbers, I think, are the order of magnitude of like, yeah, it's like low six figures, or maybe not even high five figures a year. You can find them. And if you can't, do you know what businesses are supposed to do? They're supposed to pay taxes so that the government can use the taxes to create a skilled labor force. Skilled labor forces don't just appear. They're not sui generis. You have to spend money on infrastructure. You have to spend money on education. You have to have a social support network to go into disadvantaged communities and find bright people and build pathways to have them elevated and realize their potential. But of course, these guys don't want to do any of that. They want no part of paying for the infrastructure of a government that actually runs a society and creates human capital. They just want the human capital so that they can make money. And for them, the H-1B visa program is a way of short-circuiting all obligations to the society in which they luxuriate and operate and make so much money. And fuck that. Pay your taxes.
So what's the moral here of our little story? Tech bro billionaires will always look out for their bottom line. Donald Trump will always be full of shit, and the American workers will always get screwed as long as we continue allowing billionaires to control our government and our economy.